Sell different. You're going to be seeing quite a bit of this book, or at least hearing about it, even if you don't know about it. So what I'm focused on is some of my reading and consuming the endless books that I read, is being able to share that with the team. So get that out so that the people here at Raw Selection can also learn from my readings. Not everyone's going to have a chance to read this book, everyone's going to read it. So getting that knowledge out to the team and developing people rather than sitting in my head and being on a one-on-one basis, sharing that with the rest of the team. So the rest of the team's going to watch this. So I thought, you know what, might as well share that with you guys as well and see if it brings you value. So this is focused around the ideal client space. So Sell Differently has improved my understanding of this. But basically, when you look at your current proper clients, there'll be some consistencies. There'll be an outline, you'll work with a blue chip, but the rest will be kind of SME businesses between X and Y revenue, or between this and this, or within this location, or within this and that. So it's about building on the back of that. In recruitment, in sales, in business, in sport, I think we focused a little bit too much on the weaknesses of an individual. Let's focus on the strengths. If you've got particular strengths in an area, like all of your placements come from this position or that position or this type of role, but you actually recruit right across finance or right across manufacturing or right across X, Y, and Z, pharmaceutical, whatever, then focus on the clients that win you the business. And that's where to try and win the business from, and then anything else that comes then is a benefit. So these guys focus on various different areas. So we've got size of the business. This can be revenue, employees, I don't know what units is, or any qualification of that type of word of size. Location, which kind of speaks for itself. They say business type, which is kind of public or private. Again, if you're working with kind of Fortune 100 companies, or if you're working exclusively with X, Y, and Z businesses, maybe it's mainly startups you work with because it's in the emerging market of life sciences, etc., etc. So it's really understanding your market. It says incumbent, which is a list of providers that have inferior products or services compared to what you offer. Circumstances or goals, the segment of the profile is used by completing these expressions. Our target client has issues with X, Y, Z. They have the desire to do this, this, and this. Their goals are X, Y. So if you work with a lot of businesses that want to go to IPO and you put those types of people in, we work with businesses in private equity, especially on our portfolio division. So it's all about taking businesses to exits and people focused around that. So we've got a clear consistency with regards to the businesses we work with. Decision drivers, so these are the factors that lead to exploration of adding to the current solution or replacing the current provider. Corporate attributes, the addresses of corporate DNA. It might be that you work with a firm with a certain type of culture, fast growth type culture, laid back type environment. Most of the people you place is work from home, cultural diversity type businesses, you may specialize in that. And then their buying process. So you'll tend to work with, what I find in sales is you tend to work with people that are very similar to you. So I'm quite transactional, I'm quite cut to the let's get stuff done, whereas the fluff stuff doesn't tend to come into my wheelhouse. So for me, account management isn't my strength. Winning new business is where I kind of cut my teeth. If it's developing existing accounts and winning them, fortunately we've got a team here with marketing that utilize that and develop that, and Alice and Alex here do a much better job than I could ever do. But it's about being able to understand their buying process and how they operate. So if you have to tender, you have to do this, this, and this. That might be your specialist area. Where we have to tender and everyone else can't be bothered with it, we win. Or where we don't have to, it's a pretty simple process. We have a call and then it jumps in. You can identify your positioning. So you can know whether your lead is good by being, okay, these guys want me to jump through 1,000 hoops. That doesn't tend to work. We tend to get a vacancy on the first call, we then pitch a retainer on the second, and then we're in business. So it's knowing the buyer's process, but also yours, of what tends to work for you, because you'll tend to find that the type of person is probably similar to you with purchasing. So the last one is deal breakers. This is the converse of what you want in a target client. It includes aspects such as slow payer, public relations issues, not in geography, wants kickbacks or indicators you don't want the business. So it's anybody that's, we need this, we need that, we need the terms changing, we need to pay within 7 years, if we want 100% rebate, etc., etc. So it's thinking about those deal breakers, which is like, no, this is my cut-off point. This doesn't tend to work with us. When you're desperate for business, and we've all been there, we relax our standards and we'll be a little bit more flexible. What you tend to find is later down the line, that tends to kick you in the But it's about setting those standards of this is what I need and doing enough BD in order to drive it. So just a consideration, think about the type of type of clients that you work with now, consider all those clients, and then look at the type of leads and conversations you're having and the likelihood of those coming off. So when you beat yourself up that you didn't win that lead and you didn't win that business, maybe thinking about that beforehand and thinking, okay, these guys aren't going to be ideal because they are Fortune 100, because they are 7,000 people, because they are 200 people, and ideal with 7,000 size companies. So you're able to kind of position it. Because if you go with a load of logos and say, we work with all these firms and they're all publicly listed businesses and you're dealing with a startup here, you may win the business. It may happen. But when you're actually trying to fill that search, it may be a lot more complex for you because you try to put people into a business that aren't particularly right because your network's all public, Fortune 100, and these guys are looking for, scrappy, potentially, milk and covers. Always the rate, but worth giving all the consideration of when you're spending your time with your leads and conversations and chasing those, and knowing when, it probably isn't an ideal client for us. We'll still, chase that up, but not as hard as I would as if I thought that this client was an ideal prospect or prospect for us to work with.